store get jumped in New York, I believe, not too long ago. You had the most recent case is that Hassan Campbell and Derek Williams, I believe. Yeah, Derek Williams. That incident they had that kind of looked like a weird, creepy kind of date or something. I don't know what you call it, but then they got drunk and Hassan Campbell was complaining about Derek Williams filling him up and talking to him like basically like trying to run some of that C Boogie Dom game on him. Shout out to C Boogie. Hey, that's a good dude, man. It's one of my fellow Army guys. Go over there and subscribe to his channel. But getting back to it, basically it looked like Derek Williams was trying to run the Dom game on Hassan Campbell. And I think he brought back some of that PTSD that Hassan Campbell had experienced from his incidents with Africa Bambaataa. You know, was basically, you know, allegedly running up in him. You know, it was crazy. So, you know, you have weird incidents like that. I guess a while back, this guy, I don't know if it was Nutso, but there was a YouTuber in the Chicago area that was stalking his girlfriend and like broke into a house and all kinds of stuff out in the west suburbs. So you had that, and a lot of other stuff. You had YouTubers get shot. You know, YouTube is its own. It's like a microcosm of the rest of the world with all of the weird shit put into it. So, you know, it's kind of like Facebook. You know, oh yeah. Then there was the allegations that Taz and Nyla was trying to extort. Well, not extort, but was trying to finesse Bayou Bunny out of as much as $8,000, you know, different stuff like that. So, you know, basically YouTube is a microcosm of the rest of the world. A bunch of just crazy shit, you know. So it's funny, man. It's funny, you know. I mean, and it's not to say that other sectors of YouTube don't have their weird and you know, criminal shit going, but you know, Black YouTube, you know, it's got some goofy shit that happens in it, you know. Then there's the whole thing, the Negro Manosphere. These guys every 3 months look like they get into it, and they start fighting about some shit that's really silly. Instead of agreeing to disagree, it becomes, you know, they break up like a dysfunctional family, making threats, talking about each other, doing shit like doxing each other and all kinds of goofy shit. And it's like, for what? It's just YouTube. But apparently it's not just YouTube. It's not just YouTube. So, hey, it is what it is, man. You know, some of this shit be funny, and then some of this shit is just ridiculous. So, you know, it is what it is. You know, another thing I want to talk about is, you know, the dick policing that you see in the black sector of YouTube. You know, you got Passport Gate, which I made some videos about. You know, then you have, you know, the whole thing with, you know, allegedly black guys dating fat non-black and fat white women, and, you know, then you have, the whole thing of you shouldn't support black men in business if they have non-black spouses. Just a whole lot of dick policing, and then telling black guys that you will call, the educated lane, whatever the fuck that dumb shit is. Telling them that, well, you should get with the women that are like you, but nobody tells the women, if you are short, fat, and built like a box, you should get a similar type man. Women are allowed to dream and to fantasize and to want whatever type of man it is they want, but men, especially black men, have a whole lot of rules. There's a whole lot of rules and stipulations, which it's all a part of that dick policing. So, you have that in the sector. You got pocket watching. That shit is dumb. The whole, if a black man marries a white woman and he dies, that money goes back to the white community. That ain't the dumbest shit. Most of 75% to 90% of all money in this country goes back to the white community, regardless of who your spouse is. So stop worrying about where a man puts his dick. That's the least of your concerns when it comes to shit to worry about. And these are the same people, they don't say that shit about people like Venus Williams, what's that, the dark-skinned actress, Viola Davis, other black female notaries who have a non-black or white spouse. Nobody ever tells them, your money is going back to the white community. It's not going back to the black community. It's crybaby shit. It's some more shit. And it's usually broke motherfuckers with no money of their own that like to sit up and talk this shit. Worrying about what's money go. That motherfucker, worry about getting you some money. And then you can worry about controlling where it goes. It's a waste of time. If you're broke, you need to be focusing on getting your bag together. As they say, the bag. Then there's this thing, but you got a YouTuber. I call her Weavy G or Wiggy G. I don't like her. I don't like her at all. But she's got this thing to where, specifically, what do they provide a man that would make a man want to risk it all to give them, to provide for them, to protect them, to build for them, stuff like that. And now there are men that do it regardless. And hey, that's fine. Hey, you do what you do. That's how I look at it. You get with somebody, whoever it is, you do what you do. Just understand what that incurs. But she's talking, that black men provide nothing. And it's funny because, number one, everything that all of the gains that blacks in America have had have come through the hands or come through the efforts of black men. And I'm not gonna say all, but I would say a good 85 to 90% come through the efforts of black men. Not only that, you have things like you had the black man that started the Miss Black America pageant. For women for the black women that say, we're not being held up as being the standard of beauty and stuff. You had a man go out, you had a black man go out and create a pageant specifically for them, you know. And the funny thing with that statement also is the fact that now black men have to black American men have to preference, before they can say anything about black women, they got to say two things. Well, not all, or personally, I prefer dark-skinned women. You know, they have to put that disclaimer in there before they can say something, because black women got them punked. Got them scared. So you got that going. So, you know, to me, that's power, and that's being held up as a standard, you know. So you got that going. Now, additionally, getting back to the part of saying what is of asking people like Wiggy G, what is it that you provide that would make a man want to risk it all, and to provide you the things that you want? And there's never an answer. You know, nobody's probably asked them this, but even if they have been asked that, I'm pretty sure outside of feminine energy, there's not an answer. And that feminine energy argument, that's a smoke screen, because number one, you have to ask yourself, all right, bitch, what is feminine energy? You know, they can't tell you. It's vague. It's a magical talk bullshit, you know, that you know, they can't even really describe in a tangible way. And then furthermore, that feminine energy that they so-called provide, if you have sisters, you have female friends, if you have a mother, you have women of other races, anybody can provide feminine energy. So get the fuck out of here with that stupid shit. It's stupid talk, you know. So this is what you have with this old wig wearing weirdo, you know. Now, you also have this Pookie and Ray Ray debate. And I get it. You know, I'm of the belief that most black men in America go through some phase of Pookie and Ray Ray-ness at some point in their lives. And it's usually very early on, before some figure out that, hey, this is not the way to be. Let me go do some other shit. So, you know, that being said, some guys get stuck and that becomes their life. You know, that becomes just how they move around. It becomes an integral part of their persona. You know, that being said, you know, there are some things that are structurally, systematically, I will concede, that contributes to that. But then there are things that each individual man out here, regardless of who he is, has control over. Like, you know, you have control over committing crimes. You know, like committing violent crimes, committing crimes of, you know, like selling drugs. To me, drug dealing is a violent crime because the impact of it may be direct or indirect, but eventually there's going to be some violence in there. So every man comes to a choice, you know. I don't buy that whole, well, a man's got to feed himself, because there are other things you can do. You can learn to trap, you can learn to hunt, you can learn to grow your own food, you can barter different services, you can learn a skill to barter in order to feed yourself. Something as simple as learning to cut grass, property maintenance, different things like this. You can do this to barter food and shelter lots of times. You get again, you can learn some of those skills, such as learning to grow food. You can learn to hunt, different things. You can learn to preserve food when you come across it. There are different things you can do. You can panhandle. I'd much rather see somebody panhandle than to see somebody selling poison to people. And I don't listen. I don't want to hear that talk about the pharmaceutical companies. Fuck you and that pharmaceutical company talk shit. Nobody want to hear that dumb shit. The fuck out of here. But as an individual, there are choices you can make. It's not just I gotta sell drugs or I'm gonna starve to death. You see what I'm saying? There are other choices that you can do. It depends on what you value important is and how hard you want to work. So you have that with the Pookies and Ray Rays. Not only that, the issue of being responsible with what you do with your body. Science has successfully separated procreation from the act of sex. So nobody has to get pregnant if they don't want to be pregnant. For women, none of you all have to be pregnant if you don't want to. And for men, you don't have to get anybody pregnant that you don't want to get pregnant, so long as you take the proper steps. So I don't, that you can have sex without procreation. So, the thing with a lot of these Pookies, a lot of these Pookies and Ray Rays is that, the allegation is that they're making babies that they can't take care of. And, that's partly true, The thing is that, for the part that's true, they don't have to. So, that's that. But, I'll delve into the female side of that a little later. So we can talk about that piece, because, there's another side to that as well. As I said before, no woman who doesn't want to be pregnant, who doesn't want to be pregnant by a guy she doesn't decide to be pregnant, that she doesn't decide to be pregnant by, has to be in that situation. There's always an out. So I'll address that later. So, another thing with the Pookies and Ray Rays is the educational attainment, the skill attainment, notion. Pookies and Ray Rays, a lot of them, they may not have, the skill or the education attainment to become doctors and engineers and lawyers and skilled workers and stuff. But don't just take for granted that these motherfuckers are stupid, because when they want to learn some shit, they'll make the effort to do it. Like, a lot of them, want to be rappers. So they'll go into studios and they'll learn studio and music production and how to make videos or how to organize that stuff and how to make a mixtape or how to cook crack and how to organize and manage a drug dealing business, or how to break in cars and override ignition systems and shit like that. So a lot of these guys aren't as stupid and a lot of these guys don't have the difficulty of learning a skill set or educating themselves as many would have you believe. When there's something in it for them, they'll make an effort to learn something. So I don't buy that shit. It all comes down to choices. It's a matter of what you choose. Nobody's saying that these guys got to run out and be have a doctor at the end of their name as part of their title, their official title. But when these guys figure they're going to get something out of it, they will go and learn something. So you have that issue. As far as how they dress, these guys are responding lots of times to what the female likes. So you see a lot of these guys walking around by choice with the saggy pants and the unlaced shoes and with the clothes they wear. That's because they get female attention. They get their desired female attention from carrying themselves in that way. So that's really a female issue. If the females didn't respond positively, the females that they target, they didn't respond in a positive manner, these guys wouldn't dress like that. This is a prime example was back in the 80s when everybody was running around dressing all androgynous like Prince and Rick James and a lot of the other entertainers and stuff. You had guys on the street that was walking around with stuff with ruffles coming out the sleeves and on the collars and wearing pirate shirts and tight ass polyester pants and different stuff like that because females responded to it. They got a positive female reaction out of it, so they was running around dressing like that. Then eventually the style trends change, but men typically dress in a way to attract female attention. Now that's not always true, but in many cases it is, and it's usually whatever that target group of female is. Like you got a woman that conservative women who have traditional values. They may like men in suits and different stuff, and so men who like those type of women, they'll dress according to what they perceive those women liking and appreciating. So you have men that they'll adjust themselves to that. That's where you have guys like Kevin Samuels. Shout out to Kevin Samuels. Go subscribe to his channel. But he teaches men how to dress for not only certain environments, but also to attract the attention of a certain type of women. So you have that. But getting back to the Pookie and Ray Ray thing, they're responding to what the females that they are going after respond to in a positive light. Now, going back on the other side of the Pookie and Ray Ray discussion is the what we would call, what is called in black sector YouTube, the educated lane. Sometimes they're called classic men, which I think that's a different group altogether, and I'll explain why that's a different group. Educated men and classic, educated lanes and classic men are not one and the same. Then you have your, Tyrone the Wrench Turner, stuff like that. You have different groups of men, and you have subgroups as well. But the thing with the with the other side of that is that you have guys in that group that are complaining about our women. Well, first of all, women are not your women, period. Especially the black American woman. She is state property, first and foremost. She is state property. In fact, I am of the mindset that they should all name themselves after the states that they get their benefits from. So, you see a chick named Rhonda, her last name should be Illinois. She should be Rhonda, Illinois, or, Tamika, New York, Chrissy, California, stuff like that. They're not your women. And they've shown you time and time again that they're not your women. In fact, they show you better than they tell you. Ask Tyrone Muhammad in Chicago, busting out windows for the black women in Chicago, because they, allegedly they were being treated bad by the Korean shop owners. He went and bust out all the windows because he was tired of it. He was taking a stand. And guess who was back in that that nail shop a day or two later? That's because, Tyrone, they're not your women. None of these women are your women. The only women that are your women are the women that came out of your nutsacks. And that woman you went into a contract with until she get tired of being your woman. It is what it is. Basically, your mother will always be your mother, and your daughter will always be your daughter. So that woman whose birth canal you came out of, that's your woman too. Your mom is your mom, and your daughter is your daughter. Every other woman is conditional, or she don't belong to you. So all that old our women talk. First of all, kill that dumb shit. Secondly, they're frustrated because a lot of these guys can't get the women that they want, or the women that they want won't act right. And so the thing is that why should they? Because they're not your women. They belong to the state. Again, they're state property. The state property, like Benny Siegel in the game. So, another thing is that these guys, they're venting their frustrations about the behavior of these women, and it's like they don't understand the environment. You have all this red pill talk about women's behavior and stuff, and a lot of it is very informative, a lot of it is very spot on, but I think what's left out of a lot of it is the disclaimer it really needs to be driven home to these men that these women are what they are. All of the women, the black ones, the white ones, the Asian ones, the Latino ones, these women are what they are. You have to go in understanding it, so you have to make a decision. Either you're going to deal with ones, you're going to deal with them, you're either going to deal with them as they are, or you're going to deal with the ones that are most cooperative with you, or you're not. You're going to deal with them as a contracted client, or you're not going to deal with them at all. You know, you have to make a decision. You know, but you're not really going to change them. And you have to understand something. They understand you a lot of times better than you understand them, because they've been researching in official documents such as magazines and TV shows and stuff a lot longer. So they're always one step ahead when it comes to game. You're not gonna run game on them. So, you know, you're not gonna run game on most of them, because they're the masters of running game. You know, 10,000 years of biology have made them master manipulators, have made them masters of manipulating social settings, you know. So you have that. So, you know, just stop getting mad, you know, figure out what you're going to do. You know, either you're going to deal with them or not deal with them, and if you deal with them, you got to deal with them. There's going to be some give and take, you know. For the passport guys, hey, you know, you don't like the ones in the state, I feel you. Go, you know, get your passport, ride out, go somewhere, find your woman. But I would strongly suggest this: find you a great woman somewhere overseas, no matter what race or ethnicity she is. If you find you a great woman, figure out how to stay over there where you find her, because if you bring her back to the U.S., it's a wrap. Bring her back to the U.S., the U.S. is going to ruin her, you know. Now, that being said, most guys are not going to get passports for that. You know, it is what it is, and that's fine too. You know, most guys want to deal with the women here in the U.S. They want to deal with American women. You know, most black guys want to deal with black women. You know, and you know, that's fine too. So the thing is that you know, a lot of these guys are frustrated. You know, with a lot of the situation with black women, and my thing is that that's a lot of them messed up, but you're not supposed to have most women anyway. You know, your whole goal, especially with how the laws are set up in this country, is to primarily settle down with one. You're going to go into a contract with her. So you have to find a woman that is best suited to what you're looking for, best defines what you're looking for, and that's not something easy to do. And it's the same thing for the women. There's a lot of guys out here. There's a lot of black guys out here. White women are complaining, you know, these niggas ain't shit and stuff. And a lot of these niggas ain't shit. I mean, it is what it is, you know. But you're not supposed to be with all the niggas anyway, dummy. You're supposed to find that one that has a program that you can work with, and you're supposed to show how you can be an asset and enhance his life. You know, that you can provide the things he says he needs. You know, getting back to the guys, you know, that's what you got to find a woman that's going to best define the things you find important, you know. And it's not going to be everyone. You're not going to have a pool of women that's all alike, you know. Well, you know, you will find a pool of lousy ones that's all alike. The lousy, you know, your lousy women. Lousy women ain't easy to find. You know, they literally, you can trip over them on the street. You know, if that wasn't the case, then the one you want to be with wouldn't be special to you. You know, so It is what it is. And then you have to have your life ready to be able to bring a woman into it, because it's a lot easier to build a relationship when certain things, when you have a certain amount of stability in your life. And then as a man, if you have a certain amount of stability, you can demand. It's a lot easier to demand certain things. You have a stronger case for demanding. You can't have a stay-at-home wife if you work at a place that, if you're not working, or you work at a place or in a field or in a business that you're not, that either doesn't provide the financial means for you to facilitate that, or that the money isn't where you can make that woman comfortable with trying to be a stay-home mom. And that's even if she's the type that's what she wants to do, because most of these women now, they're basically manlets. They want to be out there in the streets and working and doing man stuff, and they don't want to deal with the consequences, like short lifespans, stress, stuff like that. If you find one that doesn't want that, and she wants what you want, then you need to be prepared and stable enough to invite that woman into your life, your corporation, to where she can feel like this is a highly workable situation for herself. Because you got to remember, especially if you want kids, she's looking at things to as far as that nest. How can I maximize the benefit of this nest for my offspring? And you as a man, actually, you should be thinking that as well. What can I do to maximize the benefits and stability of the nest that I'm going to provide for this woman? Okay. All right, now moving on. Another thing with the guys on the other side of the Pookie and Ray Ray situation, the ELs and the Classic, man, a lot of complaints about the crime and stuff that Pookie does, and Pookie and Ray Ray does, and all of the fuckery they get into. My thing is that, for the most part, you're right. I'm not going to get into systematic racism and all of that bullshit. Listen, you don't want to be around them niggas. Do what I did. Move away from them. Put yourself in a position of where you don't have to live with them and be around them. So then that way you don't have to deal with them, your wife don't have to deal with them, or your girlfriend and your kids. Get you and the people that are important to you, get them from around these Pookies and Ray Rays. Because Pookie and Ray Ray is not going to change if they see nothing wrong with being who they are and doing what they do. So the thing is you have to get away from them. And some of you all would say, well, why should I have to move? And so well, if you don't want to move, then don't move, motherfucker. Stay there with them. Deal with them how you deal with them. Me, I said, fuck that, man. I got me and my family away from them motherfuckers, man. I was like, fuck that. And now you're going to have the pro-blacks that's going to say, well, if you move around white people, they're going they're going to be... Listen, I live around white people, and generally, I've had no problems. Before I moved to a predominantly white neighborhood, I lived in a predominantly black neighborhood. Had people trying to break into my house. Had guys, making all kind of crazy ass passes at my wife. Had people doing foul shit where my kids could shit, having loose ass pit bulls and shit running around. You know, I said I don't want to deal with this shit. And I moved around white people, and I haven't had those problems. You know, I haven't had those problems. The white neighbors that don't like me don't talk to me, and I'm fine with that. I don't want to talk to them motherfuckers either. The ones that want to talk to me, you know, I make a choice whether I want to talk to them. There's some of my neighbors, you know, I like and I'm cool with, and I talk to them from time to time. And there are neighbors I don't like. I don't say shit to them motherfuckers, and I don't want them saying shit to me. You know, they don't say shit to me. I don't give two flying fucks. You know, I don't need to be liked and accepted by everybody. Just leave me the fuck alone. And if you run up on me, you know, I got lots of guns, and I shoot pretty good. I shoot very well. You know, so that's all I'm gonna say about that. But you know, for you Rich Turner Tyrones, for you classic men, for you you know, for you educated lames and stuff, you have to make a decision as far as your environment. You know, if Pookies and Ray Rays are a problem. You know, as far as Pookies and Ray Rays with the women, you know, you're not finna change what these women like. So why worry about it? You know, I'm an SYSBM guy, so my thing is that why restrict your dating pool? You know, there's a lot of women out there. There's a lot of black ones. There's a lot of women of other races. You know, stop worrying about the women in that 4 square block radius you live in, or the women that you at work with, and stuff like that. You know, you can find women almost everywhere you go. They outnumber you on the planet, fool. So stop crying about it. You know. You know, there's always something you can do, which is why I don't believe in the term incel. As far as sex, involuntary celibacy, it doesn't exist, because you can always, they want the women they want and they can't have them. For whatever reason that is, you know, there's a conflict between the women they want and what those women want, you know. And so they're living in frustration with that, but they're not involuntary. You money. I know. I've seen it too many times. So I don't believe that shit. So I'm too old to believe that shit. So now as far as the dealing with those other guys, the educated lames and the classic men and stuff. They want to build a community, and okay, all right, I hear you. I don't give a shit about that, but that's what you want to do. Okay. The thing is that, you know, you have to look at the materials you have. You have to look at the environment that you're trying to build a so-called community. You have to count the cost. And the thing about it is, I've counted the cost, and I'm like, you know, given the current environment, that shit's not going to happen. You're not going to be able to build this community without non-black influence. You know, so get over that shit. I got over it when I was 20 years old, when I seen the writing on the wall back in the early 90s. I was like, oh no, man, this shit ain't, fuck that, man. You know, all of this shit that they've been talking it. And before I was born, they was talking that shit. Before then, before my dad was born, they was talking that bullshit. You know, they've been talking that shit a long time, and there was a time that black Americans got somewhat close, but given the environment that they existed in the U.S., it's not going to happen. And I tell you, who really breaks it down whether you agree with it or not, but he deals with the facts of it all. Is BGS Idmore. Shout out to BGS Idmore. If you're not subscribed to his channel, I would suggest you do so. But he really breaks it down as far as for what a lot of the pro-blacks want. It's not going to be conceivable, and especially on the scale that they want to do it on. To me, I think the Pan-Africanists have more of a point of, if you really want to do something like that as a pro-black, you got to go to Africa. You got to go to West Africa, where it is probably the most hospitable to do that, especially when we see what's going on in South Africa. West Africa is probably, for what the pro-blacks want, what the Pan-Africanists want, West Africa is probably the best place to do it. Or you go somewhere like Belize or something where the infrastructure is there. And you have a majority black population. Maybe even Haiti, other places like that. You get in. If that's what you really want to do, then you get in, bring your money and resources there, and your skills and different things. And you try to build that society there. But you have to leave. It's no different than when the Pilgrims and the Quakers and stuff left Western Europe to come to America to build the society that they wanted. They couldn't do it in Western Europe because they already had a rooted society, a social structure, and that wasn't being changed. There was no way those Pilgrims and Quakers and whatever other groups that left, there was no way that they were going to change that there. So they went somewhere else and set it up. And black Americans have to look at that. That's probably the pro-blacks have to look at it as, for what they want. Maybe that's going to be the best course of action because it's been proven before. It's been done before. So, so you have that. So as a pro-black, for you classic men and so-called educated lames who went through that, and you have to look at that situation. You're not going to be able to do it here in the U.S. because the U.S. is structured in a way where certain things are happening that even the crazy white nationalists, they can't stop what's happening. And the U.S. is integrating into the U.S. is going to become 100% admixture, to where the population is going to look very different. The majority of the population is going to look very different than what it looks now, and definitely more different than what it looked 100, 200 years ago. You're going to, the American is going to be a person with the genetics of a bunch of different other places. That's what it's coming to. It is what it is. You either accept it and deal with it, or you don't accept it and get out. It is what it is. You're not going to change that. As long as you live here, understand that the genetics of your future generations will change. So you don't want them to change. You might want to go to West Africa. It is what it is. Y'all don't want to do that. You want to live in your delusion. So, drive on, buddy. Anyway, all right. Another thing with the classic men and educated lames and stuff is they have certain ideas about how they're not appreciated by greater black society. And again, that's something you're not gonna change. You know, so you have to find something within yourself to stand on your own. Like me, I know I'm not gonna be liked by everybody, and I'm fine with that. I don't give a shit. Hey, it is what it is. And each and every one of you have to come to that same place. You want to be liked to the people that are important to you, that reciprocate. People you don't know, don't worry about them. Don't worry about people you don't know. It's a waste of time. Take care of the people that mean something to you and that reciprocate. And this is another issue with the Tyrone Muhammad's. He wanted to do something on behalf of black women in Chicago and possibly the U.S. He wanted to take a stand, and again, they ran their asses back up in that shop the next day. If I was Tyrone and I felt the need to bust the windows, I wouldn't have said that for all doing this for all black women. No, hey, I'm gonna bust the windows if you mess with my wife. Fuck my wife and tear your shit up. If I was stupid enough to go that route. Had my wife had an issue with the place, we'd have went through proper channels to deal with it, and I would told her, don't go back there because I'm gonna do something and I'm gonna run the risk of going to jail. And you got bail money? You got bail money? I'm not doing this shit. Just don't go back there. We'll take our money somewhere else. Besides, there are black women who do nails and who do hair and different stuff like that. You divert the business that way instead of busting windows and stuff. This guy just got off a 20-year bid and he out there doing dumb shit. I understand the man's desires, what he wants. I can't knock him for that. I get it. But the actions that he took, it was unnecessary. It was unnecessary. Ultimately, it might hurt him more because you're dealing with a small group with long money. And if they really wanted to cause him a lot of long-term problems, they could very well do that. And, he'll be forgotten real quick by the streets. He'll be forgotten real quick by the community. The community, like they say, the community, they'll forget you real quick, that's the thing with people like him. Instead of, focusing on his nuclear family, he's focusing on a bunch of people who forget what he did in 2 weeks to a month, and they're gonna move on to the next bullshit that they're involved with. So, I wouldn't have did it. My advice to the classic man in the so-called educated lane is, don't waste your time with that shit. Anyway, enough about that shit. I'll probably cut this particular stream off right in about a minute or two because I pretty much dumped my load on this one. So unless I come up with some more shit, and I can't see the chat, I don't even know if anybody's there. So if y'all responding, great. If not, oh well. All right.